Wellness Show, episode 76.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the Wellness Show, and today we have Karen Palmer, and she's following her inner calling to help women, children, and animals and the suffering and end the suffering of abuse. She's a successful nonprofit business leader, self-worth coach, game designer, animal and angel communicator, and Kundalini Yoga and mindfulness meditation instructor. She combines ancient wisdom technology and modern science to help us make our world a better place to be. She's also an angel marketing and sound media strategist who helps dreamers, visionaries, change agents, and peacemakers find their voice and share their message and gifts globally. She uses hashtags for higher consciousness and is a registered owner of the hashtag globalKindness, which is one of the top hashtags being used in social media. She believes in being a hashtag voice of the voiceless and helps many other nonprofit organizations around organizations and animal rescuers manifest your dreams at www.globalkindnesstv.org/dream. Wow, that's a lot. So you've got a lot happening. So welcome to the show, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's the Kundalini myself. I really think that once I awoken my own Kundalini, it really changed everything for me. And it made me know that there was a lot more important parts of my mission that were ready to happen. And it really changed everything for me.
So how did that happen? So how did your Kundalini?
Well, I actually have been studying Kundalini Yoga for over 20 years. I went to a class and I was really fascinated with it, but I became a teacher because I left my job. I was working in a restaurant. I was very unfulfilled, and I left my job at the restaurant, and I knew that I really wanted to work with animals and children. I already had my nonprofit organization, but I hadn't been focusing on it. I hadn't been really putting any attention into it. I've been putting too much effort into helping the restaurant to be successful. So I decided to quit my job and really put my focus on what I felt was my inner calling. And that just kind of exploded into my nonprofit business, expanding into mindfulness, compassion, kindness for animals and children. And then I became a best-selling author and wrote 3 books that really helped me to, I found what my gift is, and that is to use my voice to help the voiceless. And because I'm a survivor of domestic abuse myself, I'm able to really connect with animals and children on a deeper level.
So I'm assuming that you use your intuitive gifts to do that.
Yeah.
So how did you get into animal communication? Was it something that was natural for you as a little girl, or did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents fought when I was young, and they divorced when I was really young, and I got into, drugs and alcohol at a young age and found myself using the nature and animals and as my refuge to get away from everything. And when my parents would fight, I would, just run away and go out and spend time with the animals and nature. And I realized very soon, that I had this gift and that I was actually able to telepathically receive messages. And I started sharing that I had that gift, and people were saying, "Oh God, don't tell people that, that's crazy." I was raised Roman Catholic, so it was my parents, tried to not allow me to speak about my gifts. So I just stopped talking about them, but I always embraced them. And I was always really very, very grateful for the animals. And I knew that I had this really special gift, and that expanded into going into the angelic realms. And that was at a very young age also. And again, it was an escape for me. It was a way for me to escape, the situations, but I came into the world totally awake. My soul decided to come here, and I'm a very old soul, and I was, I have a lot of memory. I'm also an Akashic Records reader, so I've been into my Akashic Records, and I've seen that I've been, here thousands of times and worked with Saint Francis, and I've been, with all the masters throughout my life. And so when I came into this physical body as this little girl, I was so awake, and it scared the heck out of everybody around, especially coming into, so I chose to come into that family. And really, it's been such an amazing experience, because when I published my first book, which was Dogs Are Gifts from God, it really was this huge healing for my family, because my mother and father finally could see me. They could finally, because other people were seeing me as a best-selling author, and other people were seeing my gifts. They were saying, wow, what a blessing that you have this gift, all of a sudden.
All of a sudden they understood you. So,
yeah.
So how did you, the biggest question in my mind is, how did you get back into your body? Because basically you spent most of your childhood not in your body. You were, other people would say La La Land, but, we know better than you were conversing with the animals in the angelic kingdom.
Yeah. Well, I'm a singer and a songwriter. I love to play the ukulele. And so when I could ground myself back into, I started learning about empathetic gifts. And I had a master teacher who she's passed on. She's on the other side now, but she was with me for 14 years. And when I had been, I said that I had been, my parents were, always fighting. So I grew up believing that relationships looked like that. And I ended up getting into a abusive relationship in my teens and my 20s. And so I lost my gifts. He was an atheist, and I was afraid to share my gifts. And when I moved, I lived in Massachusetts at the time. I was from 15 till I was 21. I was in a very, very volatile, abusive relationship. And it pushed me away from my gifts. And I really, I started to doubt myself, and I doubted my gifts. And it wasn't until my own grandmother pulled me away from him and took me away for the weekend. And I was almost going to marry him. And she said, you deserve a beautiful life. And when she said that, something awoke in me. There was that awakening again. And I realized she was right, and that I did deserve a beautiful life. And so I moved to California. I wanted to study environmental education. That was my passion. Ever since I was a little girl, I was always at the beach cleaning up, the beach, before this was ever popular. I was doing compost and, learning all I could about how to help the earth. And so when the opportunity arose, we were actually engaged to be married, my fiance that was abusing me. And we had already paid for the honeymoon. And so we were going to fly out to Arizona, and then we were going to drive to California and to Las Vegas. And so since we had already paid for it, he said, well, it's your family. You were going to go visit anyway. Why don't you just take it? So I took my sister on my honeymoon, and we got here to California, and my soul just exploded open. And I knew that this was where we were I was going to live. And I am living here now 25 years later, and I've been happily married for 22 years. I have a beautiful 20-year-old daughter. And like I said, my master, my teacher, my spiritual, I wouldn't say a guru, but my spiritual mentor helped me to step back into my gifts and explain to me that all of it was part of the process. It was part of the journey. I actually did turn, self-sabotage was really hard for me. When I first got to California, I actually was homeless, and I got back into recreating the patterns. And then while I was living homeless out of my car, I was reading Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, and Wayne Dyer's book, You'll See It When You Believe It, and the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So all three of those books, and I was realizing that I had created this experience and that it was time for me to remember that I deserved a beautiful life. And I really believe that.
I'm going to interrupt you right there, because I think that's a really important point that you're making, is that for all the intuitives out there and those that are born with gifts, that really what you're saying is you can turn them down, but you really can't turn them off, and that you can never really lose them. And even though you went through all these trials and tribulations and almost a horrible marriage, you were guided to rediscover or reactivate your gifts. And that, as you said, your teacher was really saying that that was your preparation to know how to use your gifts more effectively in the world. So that's a real gift that you're offering other people, is the realization as an intuitive or as a highly sensitive person that maybe isn't understood by their family or by society. Hang in there. You've got a greater mission to deliver to the world, and you're a living example of that. So congratulations, you made it through.
Yeah, that was how the global kindness revolution got started. Was, as I said, when I was homeless and I was reading those books, my belief, I had lost faith in humanity. I had lost faith, and I was so full with trust issues. I didn't trust anybody. I was so afraid to reach out to anybody that I ended up, I wanted a friend. I wanted somebody that I could trust. And so I ended up adopting a puppy, and that puppy changed my life. Her name was Lucky. Her name was my lucky girl. I got her on the last day that she was going to be put to sleep, and that's why I named her Lucky, because we were lucky to find each other. And she was with me when I was homeless. She was with me when I was living out of my car. And she taught me how to remember my gifts. She was the one who helped me awaken to my unconditional love. My like I said, my telepathic gifts expanded and grew, and I had her with me for 18 years and 2 months. So she was physically with me for 18 years, and then my spiritual mentor was with me for 14 years in the physical. And they both actually, when they left their physical bodies, I thought that my gifts were going to leave because they were leaving. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I thought, like, my lucky girl to me was everything. She was like my protector. She was my everything. And she taught me, the 4 things that are the most important, that why our animals are here on the planet, why they explained to me that it's for us as humans to be able to understand these lessons, that they're here to teach us. And each animal who comes into our life is here for a specific spiritual lesson. And if you start to follow the map and you start following the dots back, you'll realize what that lesson was. See, my lucky girl was all about helping me to step back into my power. She gave me confidence and helped me to believe in myself. And then she taught me about unconditional love, about forgiveness, about living in the moment, and just joy. And that has been the lesson that every animal, because now I work with animal rescue, and when I put my hand on the animals, I'm able to telepathically receive pictures. I'm clairvoyant, so I'm able to see the pictures of what they went through. And I've worked with dogs that have been used as dog bait and in dog fights, and within 2 weeks, Ty, I can totally connect with them and validate their experience and love them and earn their trust and their respect. And I wrote about that in my second book, The Secret to Puppy Love. I'm a Reiki master also, so I balance the chakras with the animals, and I do all my own chakras. And I realized what was amazing is that when my energy is off, I can't work with animals that are, violent. But when my energy is connected to source, and when my energy is all tapped in, and I'm completely, my chakras are all open, everything's balanced, I can work with the most amazing animals that have been so abused and really help them step into their greatness.
Well, that would be the same for humans too, right? It's that
now it's moving into that, Tyson. It's not as easy, but it's moving into that, and that's why that's why my partner and I started the New Earth Business Academy. So we are, and I work with children. I also teach mindfulness and yoga and self-love to children, 6 to 12-year-olds. So I do that in after school programs with my nonprofit.
Well, that's great. So you get to help the kids show up and be authentic, and also help their parents understand who they are, which I think is really a gift that you didn't have until you wrote your book, because your parents didn't really understand who you were. And of course, these new rainbow kids that are coming through are really gifted, and creating a safe environment for them to feel that they're loved and appreciated on planet Earth is a big job and an important one. So that's an exciting job you're doing. So if I understand you correctly, you've got some programs in schools now, and that you want to take those programs globally. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I've been working in the schools since my daughter was in kindergarten, and she just graduated college. And so I designed a board game for children that's called Let's Save Our Earth. And I designed that when my daughter was in my belly. I designed that before she was even here. So I've been at this for over 20 years, going into the schools. I organized our Earth Day. I've been, very much involved in our community, and now I'm reaching out to take it global. And I've learned how to use social media. And so I've been teaming up with people like you and, like James Twyman, and the people who are like Wayne Dyer's daughter, Sky, who are still, really at the forefront of continuing this consciousness for the planet. And I'm also, like I said, I'm a spiritual medium, so I receive messages from Wayne Dyer, and I do feel that energy, and from George Harrison, John Lennon, the energies of, I call that my council of kindness on the other side, and I just receive. I'm a very receptive, open channel, and so I call myself a channel of divine love and light.
So tell me about that project that I was part of. I mean, it's pretty big and it's pretty exciting. If I remember correctly, you were doing interviews back to back to back all day long, right?
Yeah. Okay. So how it all started, like I said, I was homeless. I lived out of my car. And during that time, I was reading those books, and I started to shift, and I learned about the universal laws. I learned how to use universal laws. I learned about, all different modalities that could help me with my gifts. And so I became an NLP practitioner throughout the years, over these years. This has been my journey. And so on my birthday, my husband, in 2014, my husband surprised me and flew me and out to Las Vegas for my birthday. And he flew my best friend from Boston to surprise me. And my sister drove out from California. And I was sitting there and I was looking at the beautiful life that I had created by learning these techniques. And they brought me a cake and they had, had the candle in front of me and they said, make a wish. And I thought, God, I'm so grateful for everything. And I've just been so blessed. I wish that there was a way that I could see globalKindness go viral. I wish there was a way that I could teach people what I learned, because when I was homeless, I had the most kind people bring me food and bring food for my dog and offer to let me stay on their couch, and strangers would let me use their shower, and people who had a restaurant let me work there and let my dog be on the patio so that I could get myself together, so that I could put my life in order. And so my wish was, how can I help the homeless? How can I be of service? Now that I've been able to live my dream life, how can I give back? And I made that wish, and I swear it was like it set universal forces in motion. And that's when I started getting messages really, really, because when you set your intention, and the universe will conspire to bring you your desire. There's no question about it. And so that was when I started astral traveling. And that was a new thing for me. But I was astral traveling and I was seeing how much of an effect I could have if I chose to write this book that was ready to come through me. And that's what this was, my globalKindness going viral. So I wrote the book. It became a bestseller. We used the hashtag over 1 billion times in one day. It was like unbelievable. Everybody was using this hashtag. Everybody was hashtag globalKindness. Everybody was using it because it resonated, and we need globalKindness to go viral. And so the same thing happened. Martin Luther King Jr., I had just before his birthday, I was feeling guided and inspired to celebrate and have a global peace initiative. So my friend Astra and my partner, my business partner, reached out to me and said, I would love to take care of doing the webmaster for you, and if we could be partners. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just was praying for a partner. This is so beautiful. And so she knew how to do all the stuff that I didn't know how to do. And so together we were like this dynamic duo. And so we decided to move this handle a little even further. And I started reaching out to the founders of the Master Shift, the Love Foundation, Global Moment of Joy, Global Shift. And I just started reaching out to people, and we created this. We have what's called globalpeace.earth is the website. And it's Global Peace United. And it's bringing together the founders of how we can raise the vibration of joy and love and kindness and peace. And we are the forefronters, we are the way showers. And so in January, this next January coming up, for Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday again, we're going to have an entire week dedicated to what I did. We just did this for International Day of Peace. We had broadcasts throughout the day on just one channel where people could watch and listen and come in and comment and share their ways that they've been helping. And the show that I started is called Love and Light Unite. And that's going to be a weekly show where we lead up into January, where we'll have that whole week will be dedicated to all the different people who have podcasts, who have broadcasts. So everything will be hashtag global peace going viral.
Oh, great idea. Really great idea. So you're creating a whole global network using all the people that are on the leading edge with podcasts and shows, and like James Twyman that are already doing this work of bringing peace to the planet. And you've networked between organizations and brought them together under an umbrella. That's very, very powerful. So what else is there on your agenda to do? I mean, that's huge what you already got. You got a bigger
Well,
piece?
Yeah, I mean, this is my passion. My passion, Tyson, is to get all of this as a curriculum, in public schools. Okay. This is, and you know, to be able to, my big dream, my big vision, I'll share it because I'm just putting it out there because, you know, I want to be the next Mr. Rogers. I want to have a TV show, a reality show called Adventures in globalKindness. And I want to re-establish Mr. Rogers' neighborhood as a global neighborhood. And, you know, teach mindfulness and music and mantras and mudras and teach ancient wisdom combined with modern science and modern technology as a reality show.
I love it. I love it. Well, it sounds like you want to be part of the Rainbow Children's Network that we're launching as well.
Oh, I love that.
We're going to bring together people like you. I'm just helping another client. She wants to become the Tony Robbins for children. And she's just, it's called the Champion Star Project. So I'm very excited about that, where she's helping kids step into their brilliance and bring it to the world. So yeah, there seems to be a real gathering of initiative or energy to do this work. So I'm very excited. That big, huge vision that you have, I think, is absolutely doable. It's the right time, right place. And it's a great honor, I have to say, to be part of this tribe. So thank you for inviting me in and giving me an opportunity to stand on my soapbox and tell people about who I am and what piece of the puzzle I might be able to bring to this whole new tribe that's emerging. And that's exciting.
Yeah, and also if people could possibly, we're also looking for people to join us for the second World Parliament on Spirituality. And if you make a donation, you can go to globalkindnesstv.org/peace. And if you make a donation of $75, you get a ticket for 3 days to come to the Global Peace Initiative that we are putting together a map of global peace ambassadors who are coming from all different countries that are coming to Utah, and we're going to be creating roundtables, and every person who comes will have their voice heard. And every person who has a vision or some kind of we want to hear from you. We want to collaborate. We want to co-create, and we need people to make donations because we are a nonprofit also. We're all doing this. I'm not getting paid to go speak. I'm paying for my own flight there. We even the speakers are, donating our time and our money so that we can be part of this. I believe it's history in the making. I believe that this is a real, true solution and a map that if all of us come together, we can co-create global kindness, global peace, global joy, and global love for every living being. And that is my goal. That is my dream, my wish, my intention. And I know that that's the intention of the World Parliament on Spirituality also. My friend who is organizing the whole event is the founder of the Women's Information Network. And she is we also have Marianne Williamson is a keynote speaker. We have incredible speakers. You can go to worldparliamentonspirituality.org and you can check out the incredible lineup. We have such amazing entertainment. It's going to be just mind-blowing for every person who comes. And $75, that's amazing for 3 days. Most conferences cost $500, $600, $700. This is $75.
What's the dates for that?
That is going to be November 17th to the 20th of November, and it's in Salt Lake City, Utah. And like I said, it's going to be history in the making. So if you have a nonprofit organization, or you have even a vision of an idea of something that you'd like to see, maybe I'm all about animal rescue, and my second book, my dream is to find corporate sponsorship for, my books, so that I can donate my books to animal rescue, so that animal rescue can use these techniques, and also donate my globalKindness books to women who are in shelters, and women who are in homeless shelters, and men who are in homeless shelters, to see there is a light at the end of the tunnel, to look, this is what domestic abuse looks like now. This is the other side,
Right.
I thrive now. I don't survive. I thrive in this world. I'm kind of like, I'm probably a lot like you. I'm in the higher dimensions a lot of the time, and that higher dimension. You asked me about that. The angels helped me to bring this high vibration, pure joy into my physical body, so that I can ground it into my physical body now, so that I can embody this high vibration energy and still be grounded enough and centered enough that I can do these kind of, talks and be a public speaker. And you're right. I mean, most of my life, when I was a child especially, I loved to go to woo-woo land, and I still do, honestly, to be perfectly honest with you. I love my meditation time, but I'm an automatic writer also, so I've been able to channel the information through me, and really anchor it down into the third dimension.
Well, we're near the end of the show. We're getting right close to the end. It was a great pleasure to have you on. I think you've told everybody how to get hold of you and all the passion that you bring to the planet. I'm very excited for the next step. And so thank you for being on the show. It was wonderful to have you here. And we'll be in touch as we grow this community.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. And if you do want to, connect with me, I have a Facebook page that's called Raise Your Vibe. And that's our beautiful dream incubator, where I love to help people love their dreams into reality. And also, if you'd like to go to my globalkindnesstv.org/dream, you can get my free Manifest Your Dreams and Create More Joy in Your Day-to-Day Life book. And that book has changed people's lives. It's free, and I love giving it because it really is so valuable. If you start applying what you learn in that free book, you will start to see how amazingly magnificent you are, and how important your gifts and your talents are necessary in this world.
Well, thank you ever so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be friends with you. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.